Alright guys, this is Larius again. Today I'm going to do attacks, how they work. So, attacking is a complex process. You've got everything from modification of dice, adding dice to the attack, which is part of the modification, increasing dice, where does that go? It's not an add, so it's not a modifier, etc. So, I'm going to go through the attacking process, and we're going to talk about what constitutes as an actual attack, what's line of sight, etc. First, I'm going to start off with squadrons, because in my B-Wing video, I had made an error. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm human. I make mistakes, but I'm willing to rectify. So, I was using the line of sight rule for squadrons, which is the closest point of the squadron to another close point, to the next closest point of what you're attacking. So from right here, this B-Wing to this X-Wing, that's the closest point. And I was thinking that that was how you measured your attack and what you could attack. That is wrong. When attacking a ship, for instance, if I'm like this right here, I can attack anything within range 1. So I can attack this side arc, or I can attack this front arc. I measure to see if I'm within range by measuring my closest, by measuring my closest point on my base to this closest point. So there we go. As you can see, this is actually out of range now. That's exactly what I want. I want to show you what's in range, what's out of range. So now the closest point here is there to that corner, but the closest point there is from here to there. And then line of sight, of course, is to that dot, Measure. We figure out I'm out because I can't see that closest point. Let's not nudge things because you know how fighters are. They can be nudged easy. I'm out, but I'm not out for attacking the front arc. So, and then I make it my front arc attack. Voila, one hit. Nothing big. But no, that's how squadrons measure line of sight and attack. Now, let's say there's an obstacle in the way. Let's say this gladiator, and then this X-Wing was trying to, or this TIE fighter was trying to attack this X-Wing right here. Okay? Now, this is an obstruction. I'll show you why. While they're within range 1, see, they're within range 1, their closest point of the bases actually goes right through a hull zone. That's literally the closest point of the base. So you guys can see this. Let's get you guys right over it. So that's literally, here we go, the closest point right there is right over, just right nicking, which is considered an obstruction. So that obstruction would now mean that that TIE advanced, or TIE interceptor, sorry, is not engaged, so it cannot use swarm, and, well, scratch that. I could be wrong there. Swarm's requirement is that another friendly model that is engaged. So, let's see here. While an attacking a squadron, engage with another squadron. So no, this wouldn't matter for engaged, except for another squadron. So if I had a Rhymer right here, I'd actually get swarm with the interceptor, because while we're obstructed and not engaged, he's still technically engaged by the heavy, though heavy doesn't, another rule to read. Wow, I'm already coming up with all these things. I'm just starting, guys. Whew, what a day. Okay, heavy. You do not prevent engaged squadrons from attacking ships or moving. So, that means that they're still engaged with the bomber, but they can still move and attack ships. So that's actually pretty cool, because you can use bombers to activate swarm. So in this case, the interceptor would lose a dice. Oh, here's a perfect example. Alright, so this attack. The interceptor is going to attack the X-Wing. It gets 4 blue dice, right? And then there is a obstruction, which decreases the amount of dice. So you choose 1 dice, and you lose it. And then you roll the attack. Boom. Accuracy, crit, and a hit. And of course now you have the modified dice stage, which thanks to Swarm, lets you reroll 1 dice. Oh, just another accuracy. See how that works, guys? So that's how attacking in a nutshell works. Now, let's try this with something a little more complex, like a ship. So, I'm going to use my favorite. I'm going to use this Scars of Freedom, and I'm going to use this Gladiator. So this Gladiator's got a double arc. Let's say Scars of Freedom's silly of it to move into this range got there. For some reason, I don't know why. But it was, forced into this position. Maybe a Victory Star Destroyer. I'm not sure why you'd ever put yourself in this position, but it could happen. So, let's move this over. There we go. So in this position, let's move you guys. There we go. Tops down view. Perfect. So in this position, we measure line of sight. Red line says that everything goes through. Technically, you're supposed to measure with this. I'm just knocking everything all over. Problem is it's really hard to get an accurate line of sight with this. So next, you measure to get to line of sight. Can you see? Now, here's a fun bit of trivia. The only thing that matters for line of sight is the defender's hull zone. It doesn't matter if you cross your own hull zone to get to a line of sight. So in this case, even though we don't cross, even if my attack for some reason had to cross my hull zone to get to the line of sight, let's say it's like this, and I can see that arc. But because it's the defender's hull zone that prevents line of sight and not my own, I can actually still shoot that side arc. Now I can't shoot the front arc because I would cross that red line, but I can shoot that arc right there. See? You can actually see the little yellow dot right there, right here, and you can see the little yellow dot right there, and I'm lining it up pretty much perfectly. There we go. And we can hold it in the center so it doesn't move, and voila, yellow dot, yellow dot. So I can actually shoot that, just like that. Really weird, right? But it works. So, next things, okay, so now we're going to say that I have screwed somewhere on the board. Another Victory Star Destroyer, whatever forced this thing to move there in the first place. So, we get 4 black dice, which we're going to roll. Ooh, good hit. Hit, crit, hit, and hit. I'm not exactly sure why you would modify that. Here's why. You had a concentrate fire. Boom. So, concentrate fire, as far as I recall, where's my notebook? I have a notepad with everything written down here for you guys, just to make life easy for everyone. Here it is. So, how attacking works. You gather dice, you roll the dice, then you modify, add dice, etc. So now I get to add my concentrate fire, and I roll it. Oh, just another hit. Not bad. So total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Okay, now let's say I had a reroll as well. So I can try and reroll one of these. Boop. Another hit crit. Nice. We're up to 8. I like 8 damage. Who doesn't like 8 damage? So that is me using a concentrate fire dial and a concentrate fire token in the same activation. I have to choose which one I'm going to use it on, and I have to use both on the same attack. You can't split them up because that would be using 2 commands in one turn. And you can only use one of each type of command, just like you can only use one of each type of defense token per attack. So what I mean by one of each type of command, I mean one navigate. So if I was going to use a navigate dial and token, I'd have to use them together and not separately. Squadron, if I left the token, I couldn't add it on later, etc. Alright, so we have 8 damage, 1, 2, 3 hit crits, 2 damage. Now, here's the next part. Now we get to spend defense tokens. Space Whale gets 1 evade, 1 evade, 1 redirect, and a brace. Thankfully we have no accuracies, so we don't have to worry about that. So, we're also going to say we have assault concussion missiles here, because what gladiator does not have assault concussion missiles? So, and since we're giving him Screed, we might as well give the Scars of Freedom Mon Mothma. So, we're at close range. I don't even know if you'd want to reroll in this situation. That's better than nothing. What are you going to lose? Make him reroll a hit crit. Oh, there we go, down to 7. I mean, it's still 4 damage with the brace. So now you brace. And then next you redirect. So instead of taking 4 right there, you can take 2 to the side or to the front. And then 2 more. And then the other 2 can be hit right here. Actually, you'd probably want to take only 1 here and 3 in the front, because that's second attack. So, defense tokens. You can only spend 1 of each type of defense token. And when I use the Nebulon B in a second, voila, I will show you what I mean. Same with the CR90. I'll show that in a bit. So, now that I've spent defense tokens, oh, and sorry, before we even do damage, because these defense tokens actually happen at separate times. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, now before we do damage to the ship, the Gladiator chooses to activate its critical effect. It can choose the Assault Concussion Missiles, or it can choose the Standard Critical. This one's going to go for the Assault Concussion Missiles. So, we're going to do the Assault Concussion Missile damage first. Yep, total damage from dice, which is 7. And this is where brace works next. So 7 minus divided by half is 3.5, rounded up is 4. So 4 damage. So we'll just use that, and we'll say 4. Okay. And then we're going to apply damage, which this is where redirects work. So now redirect. He chose to redirect 3 to the front and take 1 on the side. And now he gets hit by the Assault Concussion Missiles. Takes another 1 there and another 1 there. See how that works? So, the steps are roll dice, or gather dice, sorry. So if you have something that says increase dice, let's say like enhanced armaments. So you would grab 3 dice and grab a 4th dice because you increased it. You didn't add, you increased. 2 different words. Then you modify the dice. So after the roll, you add your concentrate fires in, you add your opening salvos, most wanted, etc. You modify, so re-rolls there as well. Screed ability gets added in there. Paragon's ability gets added in as well. Then you spin defense tokens, as we've done. Then you choose, the attacker chooses the critical effect. As we showed, he chose Assault Concussion Missiles. From there, you total the damage, and after totaling the damage, the brace, if there was one, goes into effect and halves that damage. And then we apply the damage, and this is where the chosen amount of damage from redirect works. So you have to choose before the damage and everything. Once you spin the token, you're like, okay, I'm going to spin 3 of it to go to my front, 1 of it on the side, and we're all good. And you can do that. That's actually what you're supposed to do. And then you, of course, you apply the damage. Like I said, redirects, and then Assault Concussion Missiles, which are outside of the realm of everything. So that happens. And the same thing goes with squadrons. You just do it like I showed you earlier. You measure line of sight from closest point to what you're attacking. So once again, Tycho could be here, and he's got sight to the side arc and the front arc. As long as his closest point doesn't, let's say he's right here, because now his closest point can't hit the side, obviously, because his closest point would cross that green line. That's how that works. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section below, or find me on the forums or Reddit. Remember, it's Loreas. Thank you guys again. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.